It's a lovely area before you come here, lovely.
Free school dinners for the poor, pizza with a side of misery. Teacher said when I leave, no one here will miss me. Didn't know I was a sinner, but if they say so, well I must be. Big lips, white nose, God knows no one will trust me. Mum don't look like me, but thank God she still loved me. Neighbors called me nigger, told me go back to my own country. Said since we arrived, this place has got so ugly, but this is my fucking country, and it's never been fucking lovely. We live in a pyramid, we live here. Give it the big and round town. Have a drink and puff your chest out. Not a racist, you're just proud. Why should you be left out? The fairies get a march and the knickknacks get a month. We've got the right to vote. I mean, what more could we want? Free to go where I like. If I look like I belong. If not, fuck off. Go on, boy, move along. Remember Stephen Lawrence? He too was free to roam. 18 years old at the bus stop, murdered on his way home. We live in a pyramid. We live here. We live in a pyramid. We live here. The first time I was called nigger, I was about 7 or 8 years old. I was playing across the street and one of the older kids called me. I went home for bath time a little later and asked my mum what it meant. My white mum, she told me it was a bad word. We live in a pyramid. We live here. We live in a pyramid, mate. We fucking live here, you cunt.
Hey, it's your boys, Decent Criminal, and you're listening to Dying Scene Radio.
Oh yeah.
Greetings, comrades. Welcome to episode 24 of Dying Scene Radio. I'm one of your hosts, Anarcho Punk. With me, as always, is my compadre numero uno, Mr. Bobby Burns. Say howdy to the lovely listeners, Robert.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
But wait, there's more. For this episode, we're being joined by Mr. Regan Ashton of Utah's own Problem Daughter.
Woohoo.
Hi, Regan.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're doing pretty well. I don't know. I can't speak for Bob. He always looks like he's a disaster, but I think he usually holds together all right. I'm doing okay.
I know the type.
So as always, we're going to be listening to some fantastic new music from emerging bands that you were probably too lazy to discover. And we're going to be chatting about some of the more noteworthy scene news from the last few weeks, all while getting to know Mr. Reagan. I guess not Mr. Reagan. We don't want people to think we're actually talking to
Also, just because Ronald Reagan was a dipshit, my name's actually Regan.
There we go. Good. So, definitely.
I do not
Regan.
like to, it's like I don't want to be associated with something like that. So
perfect. I don't blame you. So one of the wonderful songs that we listened to was our intro song for this episode. That was flown all the way in from the UK. That was a London duo, Bob Vylan, kind of like Bob Dylan, but Vylan. Clever. That was the title track from their latest 8-track album, released a few months back. And I thought it was very apt. The title of the name of the song is We Live Here. Very angry music. I love it. Anything that gets you angry and is political really catches me.
I was going to say very politically in your face and direct. And I like the real like droning aspect of it where it's just kind of repetitious. I know, what was it? Maybe like a year or two, like I got into Shame.
Do you feel alone? Well, sometimes I do. Do you feel replaced? Like there's nothing at all. Fear in the unknown. Stand into the abyss. Craving escape. Waiting for the call.
Shame and Idols from England and London, and so they've kind of got that droning punk sound where it's just kind of really repetitious and simple over and over, almost like a little industrial or something.
My bandmates were really into. I haven't really gotten into them, but I remember our last tour. That was
all they were playing.
A lot of Idols.
Yeah.
A lot of Idols.
Yeah.
Also, Fountains DC or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Some Irish band, I think.
Yeah, but it's a cool sound. It's like pulling back from sort of the 80s sound and feel of things.
Fuck yeah.
But with a lot of modern twists on it, so it's really fun. And again, the whole in-your-face political message, that's
Absolutely.
not so subtle. It's very direct and very...
Fuck being subtle at this point. Like, fuck being subtle.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely.
Exactly. I don't know if you listened to the rest of the album. I sent this to Bob. I think it was like on a Monday morning or something, because I get up a little bit earlier because I'm in Mountain Time.
I am too. Are you at 8 o'clock right now?
Oh yeah. Me
too.
Loving the 8 o'clock life.
Yeah, Mr. 7 o'clock over here.
Yeah, fucking loser. But yeah, I sent it to him like early on a Monday or something like that. I thought it was a really good track to get your blood boiling on your way into work.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
The rest of the album though was also just as good. That was one of the more punk or hardcore tracks. Most of it was a little more hip hop with some punk mixed in.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But I thought that was not only apt musically for the podcast, it was also apt for the times that we are living in. And they say it better than I do. And they say some words I can't, so good. I'm glad somebody's out there saying it.
You know, it's funny. This year, I find that whenever I'm finding new music that says 2020 on it, I have to like sort of look and see if it's pre-COVID or post-COVID to know what the content is going to be about.
Oh,
and it's kind
absolutely.
It's kind of fantastic. There was something that was released earlier this year, and I'm like this doesn't seem like something someone would release right now. And I looked at it, I was like, it was February, back in February
It makes a lot of sense.
before the world went to
Things were
shit.
so much simpler then.
Yeah, exactly. So it's an interesting measure that I have on music these days.
It is, and I've been missing going to shows. I don't know, Regan, have you guys, I know you guys haven't played, but have there been any shows or anything that you've gone to, even in a limited fashion since the lockdown?
No. Utah was actually doing really good for a while there, and then being a red state, people were like, masks are fucking, we don't need to do this. This is some liberal agenda or fucking something dumb as fuck like that. Shot up from like 50 cases a day to like 700. Now we're back down to 2, but we're a small city, and
well, when you have
and
19 people living in a house, 17 and counting children.
Yeah, I just live with my 2 cats, just alone, So
that's the way to do it.
No, I love it. But no shows. I played a few Instagram benefits for a venue that's down the street called the Beehive.
Okay.
My friend Conrad Keel owns that, and great place, and I hope it survives all of this. But haven't done that. Prom Daughter actually right before COVID got a little busy and kind of took a hiatus, which is funny because it would have been a forced hiatus anyway. But
right.
So my guitarist Tyler and I, my lead guitarist, we're actually we're working on some other things. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Is it still going to be considered Problem Daughter, or is it?
No. And that's the thing. It's like Prom Daughter's not done or anything.
Right.
We'll be right back. But without Trey and Shane, that's not Prom Daughter is not me. That's how Prom Daughter's not Tyler. It's definitely all of us.
That's awesome.
And so we're just kind of going on under a different kind of different name.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. And this was actually started pre-COVID. Half the songs are pre-COVID, half of it, and it's like you were saying, it's like there is a dynamic change of like it's like fucking going from right before to right now, and
maybe you do
my
a
brain's changed.
Maybe you do a double album concept.
I would love to. That just means more songs that I can fucking just write and
Exactly.
shit. Like just put me in a room. I haven't been drinking or doing drugs. I've been actually sober. So just put me in a room with my cats and tell me to write some shit. I'm in hog heaven, baby.
That's awesome.
Splendid. I don't know if I could do it sober. Good for you.
That's what I thought. That's fucking what I thought. That's what I thought. And especially during COVID, I was saying that it's like, man, I used to think that I knew exactly who I was. And then when I got sober and was alone, I realized it's like, man, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me here, but being a punk drunk musician is not a personality, y'all. So I'm now finding out who I really am now.
Yeah.
Well, good. Hopefully you like yourself. That would really suck if you're stuck in there and you find out, oh man, I'm a dick.
I'm working on it.
That would be me. I'd be like, fuck, man, I really can't deal with myself.
sucks. Talking to yourself in a mirror.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it. I'm glad for you though. I'm glad things are going well.
Thank you.
Bob, how about you? No shows there in LA. LA's still pretty much shut down, right?
Yeah, LA is acting like it's shut down, but then like on the DL, like everybody's just meeting up and partying every weekend. So we'll probably be in the exact same position a year from now.
Oh man, that's so disappointing.
It is.
Oh yeah, I mean there was a party on my street last night till about 2:00 in the morning on a Sunday night, and it's just like it's I don't know. I don't see anything changing because, I mean, look, we've been at this for, 7 months now, and everybody's just doing the exact same thing they were 7 months ago, so it's...
Yeah. They had to mandate it here because people were just like, fucking, like I said, it's like, they're just like, it's like, these Dems... These fucking Dems are making me wear a mask. And it's like, fucking shut the fuck up.
Tell them to come to California.
Put on a goddamn mask and let's fucking move on with our lives at this point,
Yeah. Tell them to come to California where half the Democrats are not wearing masks and just doing whatever the fuck they feel like.
They're lazy.
Oh man, that's we're definitely you see a lot of people, those fucking videos of it's like people getting turned away to grocery stores. It's like, oh no, the mask police is here. It's like, no, everybody just do it. Do it.
The crazy thing is that a lot of the establishments, it says like you are not welcome in if you're not wearing a mask. It's our right to refuse. And then like, I mean, it's mostly conservatives who are doing this.
Yeah, they're Facebook Live, like, already ready just to walk in there and be like, my rights, my fucking rights.
They're the ones who are like, bakers don't have to make a cake for a gay couple if they don't want to. It's a business, and they could do whatever they want. And then
Free
they're
market,
like,
y'all.
Yeah, and then they're like, you have to serve me without a mask, you whatever communist pieces of shit. And then it's like, wait, double standard, right?
Hey, that's me.
Exactly. Well, that double standard doesn't exist when it's on the opposing side.
Never.
Never does.
Yeah, it's insane. So
here in Denver, we've actually gotten there. People have been pretty responsible, and it's a fair mix, I guess, of red and blue state. I don't know anything. I stay in the city. I don't leave.
You guys
Denver
got fucking
proper.
legal weed.
Yeah,
definitely that.
I can piss clean. Like I said, I've been pretty sober, but man, I haven't smoked since June 21st. I got sober just off alcohol, not off like I didn't want, but my job is being bought out, so I can be drug tested once at any fucking time. So I haven't smoked since June 21st, and I still haven't got that goddamn drug test.
You're waiting for the test so you can go home and celebrate.
Jesus fucking Christ, hell yeah.
What is it that you do, if you don't mind me asking?
So before we got bought out, I was helping Tyler and I, actually, my guitarist, work together, and his dad, his parents owned a welding shop, a welding repair shop for a warranty center for like Esau, Miller, Lincoln welders. And my position didn't exist anymore, so now I'm a service tech for Miller, Lincoln, and Esau welders.
Were other people in the band doing that as well? I remember watching, I watched an interview with you guys like, I don't know, a few days ago. Yes, at Punk Rock Bowling, which
Shane had that same job. That same job. I got back from Europe. I filled in on guitar for Western Settings in 2016.
Nice.
On their European tour. And I just fucking quit my job. I had a wife at the time, and she's just like, "This is not a good idea." I'm like, "Gotta do it!" And I fucking, fucking bounced for like a month and a half. Came back, and I'm like, "What the fuck am I gonna do?" And Tyler was just like, "You can always work here." 4 years later, and now, I'm fixing fucking welding machines.
Gotcha, nice. Dude, can I just say that Punk Rock Bowling interviewer was like the most fucking... I don't even know how to explain her. She's just so disinterested in what she's just like, all right, tell me about your fucking piece of shit band. All right, so
I also could not remember a damn thing. When I watched that, I'm just like, it's like a Jekyll and Hyde moment. Like that is me, definitely. Not like a Jekyll and Hyde. That is my personality.
Yeah.
But it's almost just like, that couldn't have happened. No fucking way. Like, it's like that. I have no memory of this interview standing here wearing that shirt, saying the things I said.
Well, I wouldn't worry about you because she was just like, she could give a shit less. She's like, so what? You guys gonna do this again next year or no? And you guys are like, yeah, hopefully. She's like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. I'm done. This is stupid. Like, I don't know if she was hungover.
I want to see who it is now. I gotta go watch this.
It was like Punk World Views or something.
It was Punk World Views, and I don't know who the girl
It was
was.
2013.
Yeah. Look, I'm probably
yeah.
talking shit, and maybe she'll hear this, maybe she won't. I don't give a shit. She did not fucking care that day, and I couldn't help but laugh the whole time. I felt bad for you guys.
I just remember it was our first punk rock bowling that we ever played. 2013. That was 7 years ago. I turned 31 tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of calculating that because at the time she's like, "So what? How old are you guys? Like 18?" And one of your guys is like, "I just turned 22 yesterday or 2 days ago." And she's
that
like,
would have been Tyler. Tyler
Okay.
is a couple months older than me. Tyler turned
Yeah.
31 in May. I turned 31 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Shane and Trey is 29 and Shane's 28.
"Yeah, that's crazy." So you guys have been at this for a while.
Shane and I started playing music together right into junior high. I was 15. He was 13 when we started our first band.
That's crazy. It's awesome that you guys are still doing it together because, I mean, I would imagine then you guys have worked out your writing style to where you know how to read each other. We didn't really leave room in this outline for an interview because I always ruin that and just do the interviews like right now, like I am.
That's why we're here.
I'm sure you can come through the billions of other times people have asked us these questions. So there's this is great from where I'm standing. I'm ready to do something new.
Good. So I'm curious, like, with that, you guys have really unique songwriting in the sense that you change time signatures or really tempos quite a bit. Maybe not the signature, but the tempos. Is that your doing? Is that Tyler's doing?
Oh, no, it's actually my doing. So I write most of the bulk of the songs. I've never taken a lesson, and it's funny because until we play it with the drummer, I didn't even know that fucking happens. Like, it's like, then it goes like this.
And I bet your drummer
sounds cool.
fucking
and then the drummer's like,
complains.
what the fuck are you doing?
Yes.
You changed fucking... So it's like when we go record, we have to get our BPMs to tell the producer that it fucking, changes to this.
And
it just sounds cool to me. So I don't know.
It sounds awesome. And one of my best friends who I grew up playing with music with does the exact same thing as you. And I never took music lessons either. So I played bass. When I was like 15, I started playing bass with him. We started a band together, and like I didn't even have an instrument. He had a guitar. We met each other in high school, and one day he's just like, "Oh yeah, come over, like blah blah blah, bring your bike or whatever." And I'm like, "I got a guitar," and he's like, "Bring it." So I brought it over, and he started showing me how to play Blink-182 songs.
Yeah.
And then we just rewrote all the lyrics about people at our school making fun of them. And then next thing you know, we're in a band together for 4 years, broke up, started another band for 4 or 5 years, and played again for another. I don't know. We played together for like 15 years straight, and so but he's just like you, where he's like, "Oh, check this out," and he has it in his head, and all the time he's just switching tempos and time signatures. And I'm like, "God damn it, man! What are you doing?"
If the people, Tyler, Shane, and Trey, they're not like classically. Tyler actually is fucking. He's been doing it, like taking lessons since he was like a fucking child. Shane took a little lessons. Trey did, but. Man, I go to them and be like, "Dude, look at this new chord I made," and they're like, "That's an A diminished 7 or something." It's like, I'm fucking playing it. Fuck you. Like, it's like I figured it out myself.
Yeah.
So same with tempo. Same with I never learned theory. So a lot of people are like, "Oh man, you changed key right here." It's like I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. It sounds cool to me. Like I know how to play the damn thing, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Well, it all does sound really awesome, and that's what I was gonna say. Is we both absolutely love you guys.
I appreciate that.
And he really loves you as well. And I always wonder. I'm like, I wonder if Jeff even notices this. My buddy Jeff. I'm like, I wonder if he notices all the time changes, or if like to him it's also just natural. He's like, "Oh, I didn't even notice that." But you guys have a very similar writing style, in the sense of like speeding up and slowing down and changing chord progressions and stuff. And it's challenging to wrap your mind around. But after playing with him for so long, I got really good about like hearing and seeing and thinking these things. And at first, my mind couldn't handle it. I'm just like, "What? This is not how you go. It's like 4/4. It stays 4/4. Keep the beat." And then like in my mid-20s, I was just like, we can do whatever the fuck we want. Okay, like we're gonna we'll slow it down and like change the chord progressions. And then I get better at understanding music. I'm like, oh, like really talented musicians are doing this. They're like, we'll bump the key up just half a step and change the whole song here. We'll drop from C major to an A minor and just arrange the chord progression a little bit differently.
See, those guys are they get to a point where they know everything. It's like, how can I make this more difficult for myself? I know nothing, so it's just whatever.
Yeah, well, it really is fantastic, and I think it makes you guys extremely unique in the sense that nobody else is really doing that. I mean, they're sticking to just the very formulaic, keep the time signatures, and you guys do it, and it's, you know, like the first song off of Grow Up Trash. I think it's the first song, but I mean, like, you guys speed up and slow down so many times, but it's like you never lose me at all with it. It's never just like, wait, what the fuck are they doing? It's like the timbre of the song. It's really just expanding and breathing and all that stuff. So, and
that's what I mean about, like, as long as it sounds good. I'm not trying to make somebody sound alien. Like, it's like, it's not an alien. To me, it sounds normal.
Yeah, no.
So it's not like I'm trying, like, so if I do change the tempo or I do change a key, it's, to me, in my ears, I didn't know the fuck, because it sounds, that's just how it goes.
That's
so I'm not trying
to,
like, let's do something so alienating right now. It's just like, until somebody's like, how'd you do it? I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's funny. Dude, do you guys record with the same person every time, or have you guys recorded with people, different people for each album?
Shane and I recorded our first EP when I was 16, he was 14, with a guy named Joel Pack. And then the first two Problem Daughter EPs was a guy with Andy Patterson, but our self-titled in 2012, then Fits of Disorganized Boredom, and then Grow Up Trash has all been with that Joel Pack, and he's a great friend. He's always been the same guy. He just gets it. Like, he's one of those people that you've just been recording for so long. It's like, yeah, Regan's fucking on his shit. Fucking, I get it.
Okay, so he knows, like, what you're doing already and how to work with you on that stuff.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome that you guys have somebody. And, like, I mean, he sounds professional. Has he recorded any other big artists?
He records Air Supply, man.
Okay, awesome. So
he records fucking Air Supply.
So
I fly in from Australia to record with Joel.
He's doing this for a living then. Like, he's got this shit down.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he does that. A lot of different bands, like, not just bands, like, you know, solo artists from across the country, but that's his biggest, most wildest. He played growing up, before they became the Used. He was playing a lot with, like, Brandon Steinekert, who lives in Provo and shit, and just grew up around that, and then became a producer instead of he was actually signed in his band to Maverick Records for a time, and then got dropped in, like, fucking 2008 or something. I don't know that whole story, but he's just been around, and he's just been doing it for a long time. Really has a passion for it, and doesn't want to fuck around. He really takes an interest, and he just acts like he's like my older brother. So it's really nice.
That's really cool. Does he do work with a lot of the other local acts out there? I mean, how many other bigger local bands are there in Salt Lake? I don't feel like there's a ton.
There's two right now. I mean, Neon Trees was from here.
Okay.
We played with them back before. Man, they've actually been around much longer than you think. So they've been around here. Of course, the Used was from Provo.
Right.
But there's two bands right now that I know, because we have, like, our radio station. There's two bands that I have no idea who they are, but they're now national acts. You know. So, like, things like that. But I mean, my favorites, Wicked Bears.
I stood at the threshold of hysterics in the Nickel Arcade, when the girl behind the counter told me just to let her know if she could help me in any way. So then I looked in her dead. Wicked
Bears. They're on Hidden Home, I believe. They're good friends. They just live right up the street. Shit like that. But then there's a lot of different acts, like some rock and roll shit.
Do you guys know Racist Kramer?
Yeah. No, we played with one of our. Actually, we played at Joel that show. We played at the Depot last year around this time. It was around my 30th birthday. I think, and we played with.
Is the Depot where they always do the Christmas show there?
Yeah, that's it.
I went there like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. My buddy and I went to Utah for a snowboarding trip.
They know those guys, the Depot guys, pretty well, and so they set up shows. They actually set up that show at that time, and just invited us to play. And they actually record with Joel too most of the time. So
that's kind of what I was curious if. You know, a lot of these people, you know, I mean, it seems just like such a small city is what it is. That I'm wondering, you know, how many people know each other, how many people actually record, how many options are there for recording?
I think they're from, like, Ogden. I think they're more north, but Salt Lake City is such a small city. It's like you know, 7 by 7 blocks. Like, it's like I live right downtown, and Salt Lake City's right there.
Yeah.
And you can walk through it.
Yeah,
you know.
Absolutely.
So
yeah. Cool, interesting. What I know in one of the interviews that you were talking about, you were saying, maybe it wasn't even an interview, I don't know, just doing my research online, you were saying that, Salt Lake's a really fucked up town, and, this new record, a lot of it's just about the suicides there, the drug use, the homelessness, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's insane.
What was it like? Were you born and raised there?
So Shane and I grew up in a place called Spanish Fork, which is actually like fucking trailer trash, fucking about an hour south of here, Utah County.
Hence the name of the album, "Grow Up Trash."
Yeah, we grew up trash. We grew up in the dirt, had our share. Shane's always he just drank, but. Had my run-ins with, like meth, fucking, did a bunch of heroin for a couple years, then had to just fucking bounce, and that's how I found myself in Salt Lake City. Shane and I both moved up here, and then Trey, we all just got a house together, and I was, my friend Graham that I was doing drugs with, my mom was horrified. His mom actually, kind of, and I love my mom, she's a great mom, his mom like helped him with Suboxone, and so my friend Graham helped me get off heroin and shit because he shared his Suboxone, and moving up here, just cutting that out. Still struggled. That's why, with alcohol, I just had to cut it out. I'm going to AA right now, like meetings and shit. It's most of Grow Up Trash from what I'm talking about. But I mean, Salt Lake City has its share. Salt Lake City, I mean, Utah itself, like there's a documentary called Happy Valley, and it's just like so many just suicides you wouldn't think, and that's the thing. There's a correlation, and they talk about Denver too, about maybe altitude. Like it's just fucking around these areas. There's just this fucking like influx of fucking people just fucking killing themselves. Yeah, and kids, and I liken it to like they're not good to the LGBTQ community. They're not good to minorities. They're not good to people who are struggling for so many different fucking things. And these people feel helpless, and that just unfortunately is a fucking escape a lot of the times.
Yeah, and I would imagine like you also grow up seeing a lot of that stuff, right? If you said you're growing up in the trailer park, I would imagine you're watching your neighbor do heroin or your family members.
Funny thing is, my family, my brother kind of fucked around, but then my dad helped him pay for college, and then he's just like, I'm never fucking doing that again. So none of us else went to college, So and the funny thing is, I was actually a late bloomer. I didn't start smoking weed. I didn't smoke and I'm not talking shit on weed, guys. I'm not fucking not doing that. But I didn't even start drinking until maybe 17. Started experimenting with drugs, 19, I would say maybe around maybe 17, but a lot of my friends, I mean, they were doing that 2 years before me, and it was actually my older brother's friend who actually introduced me to harder shit, and my older brother wanted to tear him to pieces, man. I'm not gonna name names, of course, but it's just a weird fucking place, and it's still things that I think. I mean, that was 12 years ago. I moved up here 18, so around maybe even 18 to 19, so almost 11 years ago. Fucked around, but I haven't done shit. I haven't done shit like that in fucking ever. It's just a hole. And I mean,
I feel like a lot of people who I know, like once they've gotten out of it, they stay out of it, and don't really go back to it. I mean, I do know some people who've like struggled back and forth, but it's like when they quit, I'm like, nah. Like you could kind of tell the people who are just like, dude, I'm fucking done, and the people who are like, oh, I quit, like good for me. Absolutely. And then like a week later, they're back into it. And
there's times that I and it's not all the time, but there's times that I'll smell vinegar or black coffee and just start itching my fucking chin or something. Oh, yeah? Just like, oh damn, it smells like it's like it just hits you, and it's like it's not like not anything I ever want to go back to, but it's something that I'll probably struggle with for probably the rest of my life, but not something that I see myself ever fucking doing again.
Yeah. And then
Good idea. I concur. I agree with your decision.
Thank you. I really like the support here, guys.
I try where I'm at. But I was actually going to say, like, I was a little bit of a late bloomer, like when it came to drinking. But I smoked crack cocaine before I drank my first
Right?
beer.
I didn't start drinking until I got off fucking drugs. Like, it's like, can't do drugs anymore. Guess I'll start drinking now.
Yeah, alcohol's a little easier to get. So, I kind of grew up in a shitty neighborhood too.
You grow up always around Denver, or?
No. I've lived a lot of different places. My formative years were spent in North Carolina, and I remember there was a little store where you could go buy penny candy, and we would go and buy candy. And
did you get those rose holders and they're fucking? You ever see those?
No.
Yeah, they're fucking. It's like, that's a crack
I know what
pipe.
you're
What the fuck
talking
are you
about.
talking
Yeah. No, this is probably when I was like 8 or 9, and I was walking to school, and there was a store that sold penny candy, and we would go in and buy it, and then sell it for like 3 or 5 cents when we got to school and make some money. And one day when I was going in, there was a guy that offered me crack, and I was like I said, I was like 8 or 9, and I was like, no, man, that's all right. And he was like, well, get your ass out of here, then, you little punk. And I was
all
like,
right.
all right. Yeah.
You got it.
So that's kind of what I grew up in. It was destined that I was
Little
going to be.
towns, man.
Yeah.
How old were you when
so
you first tried it, AP?
When I first drank?
No, when you first tried, or you said you started smoking.
I was probably like 16,
Oh, okay.
maybe the first
It's-
time I smoked crack.
It's crazy.
That's
You
the
guys
first-
talk about
yeah.
those little towns, and I have a friend of the family, and I think they caught their son smoking crack at like 9 or 10 years old, and
Yeah.
growing up in one of those small towns. And I grew up in one
easy.
too. And a lot of people. I mean, I remember being 14 or 15 and getting in and being in high school, and all of a sudden, all my friends are doing crystal meth, and I'm just like, what the fuck happened?
Like unfortunately, what else are you gonna do? Like, and you got to get out of that mentality of it's like you can do a lot of things, but when you drop out of high school, which is not bad. I dropped out of high school, and I'm trying to be kinder to myself, and but like there's that time where it's just like fucking. I mean, that's why I found punk. That's why I found a lot of things. It's like I'm just a worthless fucking dirt kid, man. Like, I just fucking. What else am I gonna do besides learn how to play? I can't even afford lessons. Like, wait for somebody to give me an instrument, which my older sister ended up doing, and then doing stupid shit that now it's just like, man, I wish I was kinder to myself. I wish I knew my worth, and unfortunately a lot of people fall into that hole, and for some reason it's always like these, like, not always, but so many times, these little fucking towns.
Yeah, I mean, and the unfortunate thing is like, you don't know any better. Nobody taught you any better. So I know you wish you could go back and like have realized some of these things, but like that's not a possibility, because that is not the culture within these towns. It's not the things that people are teaching their children to identify and understand. It's not something that these underpaid teachers in these areas that no one wants to go fucking teach understand how to teach children. And so like, like, you're gonna blame yourself for choices you made when you were 16 years old and still a child. Like that's not fair to you,
That first song on Grow Up Trash, Pocket Sand, it says, I never thought I would grow up trash, a mother's pride burnt on tinfoil. And it says, they say I'm wrong, but I'm convinced I'm the worst that's ever been, I mean, and, it's like, it's just something I also struggle with. My brain, have a bad day, look at yourself in the mirror, fucking, sorry, my neighbors are going a little nuts up there.
I can't hear them. I think you're good.
My cat's just fucking scrambled. It's it's still that. I mean, that came out 2019, just last year, and that's still something that's like mental bullshit that I'm sure so many people fucking struggle with. Absolutely. I absolutely know that so many people struggle with.
Yeah.
And
I would imagine if you don't struggle with a little bit of self-hate and self-deprecating behavior, that you're probably a narcissist, right? If you're
it's
not
getting
like
me out of trouble.
Yeah. So if you're not a little bit shitting on yourself every once in a while, like I'm like, so that's just our way of keeping ourselves in check, so we're not sociopaths being like, no, I'm fucking justified in everything I do. Fuck everybody.
Little dose. Just a little dose.
Yeah. So I think that's great. But you mentioned dropping out of high school, but you were just talking about, and I want you to share a little bit about this. You said you have a podcast. What's your podcast topic on?
I have, I mean, there's only 3 episodes right now. I dropped off a little bit, but I always wanted to be I dated this girl in 7th grade named Sandy Vega. And
I love how you remember her name, like first and last name.
Well, her older brother, Nick Vega, I'm still friends with that family. I used to live with them.
He's going to hear this, he's going to be like, what the fuck, dude?
And she just, like, you know, she was really enjoy. She's like, I have a crush on, you know, and writers. And I'm like, oh man, I can do it. But I realized, you know, and then you start writing, and then the first rule of writing is you gotta fucking start reading. And so at a young age, I just fucking got real into books. And so the podcast is called The Podyssey, and you know, I mean, I'm like I was telling you guys,
one more time, what's it called?
You guys can't see because I'm so short. I've been sitting on this fucking Kurt Vonnegut giant ass fucking this because I have to zoom. I got to sit on this thing. But you know, it's called The Podyssey, and I just really enjoy books. I mean, tons of our lyrics actually have to do. Fits of Disorganized Boredom comes from Vladimir Nabokov. Tons of just like little things. What
is Vladimir Nabokov written?
Lolita, Ador Ardor, a lot of different fucking things. But he's actually there's a really cool documentary about him too. Actually, Stanley Kubrick's like second movie he directed was Lolita.
Oh, okay.
No, it's shit like that. Burroughs is in the song "My Other House Is a Meth Lab." I talk about him very often.
One of my favorites.
Burroughs is interesting. I listened to Junkie. I don't know if you've read Junkie or not.
Yeah, no, I wish I could turn my computer. My bookshelf's right here. I got books right here. I got books right here. I got books over there. They're just always on hand. Books right there. Books on the table right there.
Junkie was such an interesting book because he just like. It is this nonchalant like narrative of what he's doing. He's like, yeah, so you know, we slept on the guy in the train, and we pulled the typical 1-2 where so and so knocked the paper out of his hand, and I stole the wallet.
You gotta be like this. You gotta talk like, you know, like, oh man, I remember the day that it's funny because actually there's the reason why he started writing like when that shift, because he also wrote the book Queer, and it's it's written kind of the same, almost linear. But then he wrote Naked Lunch, and that's after he killed his accidentally shot his live-in wife, Joan Vollmer. He like with that William Tell kind of thing. He said like something like, he's like, oh, we're just gonna move somewhere. I'm just gonna hunt for our food. And she's like, Bill, you couldn't kill anything. We'll starve to death. And she put a glass on her head, and he's just like, bam, right between the fucking eyes. and he says, I would not have been a writer like I am today if it wasn't for Joan's death.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like it is deep. It's fucking just horrifying. It's fucking horrifying.
I'm sure she appreciates the
I'm
sentiment,
sure. Yeah,
the inspiration she provided.
He's definitely not somebody I look up to, but definitely somebody who's influenced my young life.
Well, it's just interesting because in Junkie, I know it's like an exaggeration on his life and what he was doing. But
the beats are all about that. You know, they're autobiographical shit. You know,
but it's so interesting because I'm like halfway through the book, and he's like, so yeah, I was clean for 4 months, and then this guy asked me if I wanted to suck his dick in the bathroom, so I did, and we shot up again. I went home to my wife, and I'm like, wife? We're halfway through we're 200 pages in, and you haven't mentioned a woman at all, and all of a sudden you have a wife?
Oh man, he was friends with like Sonic Youth. I mean, even like fucking, I think it was Iggy Pop. They called him the king of punk rock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he was just the things that you were doing before. Like it was like he was just you know, like he was a gay writer. He was a junkie. He was so many different things before. Like you know, like people were talking about this shit. And I mean, if he wasn't, I mean, he had his common law wife, but he did love Joan, from what I could tell, in you know a very platonic kind of way. But loved her to death, and that him killing her was traumatic experience. It was in Mexico, and I think that's the only reason why I didn't just rot in prison for the rest of his goddamn life. So
yeah, wow.
Yeah, I would imagine back then you could get away with a little
yeah,
bit.
you could, like it's like, I roughed her up a bit. Like, it's horrifying. It's fucking horrifying.
All right, Bob, are you done with your interview?
Well,
Can
I
we
mean,
play music?
I'm sure most more questions will come up. I was gonna ask, like, you said you dropped
Here
out of
he
high
goes.
school, so how'd you get into like reading books and stuff? But you answered that question. You fell in love with a girl in junior high. You wanted to be a writer.
Well, that's how it all starts. That's how I started playing music
That's
too. Like, it was just
exactly
like,
how I started playing music. It's like, gotta impress the
I had
ladies.
no friends. It's like fucking short. I'm still a fucking 5'5". Like, can you imagine what I was in fucking elementary school and junior high?
Looking for
I needed
attention.
something.
Yes. So,
Exactly.
I mean, that's all of us, so it doesn't matter, if it's not your size, it's your looks. If it's not your looks, it's your awkwardness, And
Oh, yes.
so there's always
yes.
something to hold us back, and I don't know. When I say us, I mean like punk rockers. I don't mean people in general, but it's like
I'm sure. I mean,
it's why we identify, with this type
Absolutely.
of music and I don't know, just the rejection and the rebellion and stuff. So
absolutely.
yeah, AP, I'm done.
So that's a no? I can't play
No, I'm done, AP.
Everybody always says that I'm like pushy. I'm like, I just got to keep things moving.
No, you
Keep
have
people
to.
here.
Bro,
If I didn't stop Bob, he would just keep on going like Energizer
who
Bob.
Bob and I would ruin your life. Bob and I just talk.
yeah, but I think it's good stuff. Look, we can go over the news any day. People can find the news anywhere.
There's gonna be more. We got
What is the
plenty
news?
of
What's the
time.
news?
Oh, we got
I've been
news.
sitting under a rock for a year, so
We got some good news coming up. First, though, we're going to start off with a block of music like we always do. First one's from Boss Man Dave. This is his solid gold lock of the episode. Since we're bringing everybody down with talk of growing up in the slums, we're going to kick things off with a little bit of ska to make everybody feel better. Ska makes everybody feel better. This one's called Pad, and it's from The Pops.
Analyze this, something's amiss instead of a layup where it I court. I'm up to my picks and I'm surrendering my passport. Bury my credit card in my backyard and leave the worst of my persona at the airport bar. Go too far, make war and then make peace. Get chased by the police, your license gets revoked. You find out where you stand. Say, how am I supposed to reach you when you're walking all over my hands? Say, how am I supposed to reach you when you're walking all over my plans, my brains, my guts, my liver, my bullet, my arrow, my axe, my quiver? Say, how am I supposed to reach you? I can't be drunk, I have to try. I must be sly, I must be sober. January's dry, but it seems that by October 1st, well, my thirst, it catches up with me. Kills who I wanna be. I cope by telling jokes. Performances are big. Say, how am I supposed to reach you when you're walking all over my hands? Say, how am I supposed to reach you when you're walking all over my plans, my brains, my guts, my liver, my bullet, my arrow, my axe, my quiver? Say, how am I supposed to reach you? How am I supposed? How am I supposed? How am I supposed? How am I supposed?
Boston, Massachusetts ska. Nothing like it, and it has a very distinct sound. Those were the Pops The name of the track was Pad. That was from the 2019 EP, Drums and Liars. I feel better. What about you guys?
Feel great.
Yes.
That was like a palate cleanser. It was
Yes,
a palate
it was.
cleanser. It's like
Perfect
everybody
way.
who's listening to this is like, thank fucking God.
So everybody that makes jokes about hating ska, you don't hate it now, do you, assholes?
Hey, about ska music, a little side note here, AP. You have mentioned this band a million times before, and I just got into a ska band that is an old ska band that I just never listened to and never realized the connection, and fucking have been playing it nonstop. The Arrogant Sons of Bitches, which is Jeff Rosenstock's band before Bomb the
shit.
Music Industry, is
know that.
the fucking best ska band I think I've ever heard. No, I'm not even joking. Like, Hop Ivy is like my all-time favorite band, or one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Anything with Jeff
And-
Rosenstock in it is gonna be a winner.
Well, it's insane because it's like, okay, I've had friends telling me to listen to, Bomb the Music Industry since he came out in 2006. And
We played with them in like 2010.
You guys did?
It was like one of their we played in like a ballet like recital hall.
Oh man, that's fucking awesome. Was it
Yeah, it's
a
one of their
pretty
last
packed
shows.
show or no?
Oh yeah. That's the first time. Again, Trey loved them. I'm so living under a rock when it comes to music. I'm just like, what is this band? It's
Yeah.
like, Regan, it's the band I've been telling you about for fucking ever.
So yeah, there are bands I listen to. My friends like check them out, and he sent me a video, and it's them playing acoustic on at a house party, and I'm like, dude, A, I don't give a shit about acoustic music, and this was like 2006, and B, I mean, I still really don't, but B, I'm like, you can't hear anything, the quality's shitty because like everyone's fucking talking over it and like laughing and screaming in the background. And then Jeff Rosenstock comes along, and I've been getting into him over the past 3 or 4 years, and I don't know, I was just scrolling through some shit, and I'm like, oh, Arrogant Sons of Bitches, like this is Jeff Rosenstock's first band, and I put him on, and like just instantly it's fucking sing-along like chant music with like blast beats in the middle of ska, and I don't know, he chimes in. Anyway, sorry, side tangent, but you brought in the ska, and I've
This
like...
is the place to do it.
Yes, I'm just like all month, that's all I've been listening to is fucking ska. Because of that, I'm going back and listening to Streetlight. I know punk ska, and then one of our...
Is that not ska? Is that just not...
People say it's punk with horns and not ska if you're a ska asshole enthusiast.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. There's a Facebook group I just joined, and it's called Horn Pub, and they have the Pornhub logo.
That is hilarious.
Yes, and like
very clever.
I feel like the whole thread is just people like being like, this isn't ska, fight me, and it's just like every fucking band, and like that's the whole thing. Like, according to everybody on that thread, like there is no music that is actually ska, because everyone will say that some band is not ska, it's something else. So
And see what you're missing on by not having Facebook.
you're not
Regan.
missing anything at all. Seriously,
Get on
you're
my
not.
level, y'all.
Yeah, you're not missing anything. But AP, you brought him up quite a few times, I know, and I never really got into him, and now I've just been fucking obsessed with that band. They're amazing. So,
Hey, better late
check
to the
them out.
party than never. I'm glad you showed up.
oh yeah, and how fun is it to discover a band 15 years later, and it's a fucking gem? And now
I
you
love
have
that shit.
Yeah.
I love that shit. When
Right?
you're just like, oh man, it took me this long, and then you have so much fucking like a back catalog to fucking just
Yeah.
go back.
Yep, and it's
I
all
love that
gold.
shit.
Yeah, absolutely, it's great. So, anyways, this band started off extremely poppy, and I was like, I'm not gonna like this guy. And then the singing came in, I was like, okay, redeemed itself immediately. It was not as poppy as I thought it was gonna
the
be.
boss
so.
man Dave has been sending in some pretty good ones lately.
Yes.
And lately they've been ones that are kind of like on the verge of being punk. This one he actually just kind of dove back in and gave us ska. No arguments there. So good job, boss man Dave. After my complaining session last episode, telling Spike, our number one fan Spike, that he needed to send me another email because I'm lazy. And Regan, if you don't know, number one fan Spike.
Hey, Spike.
He sends us emails with his favorite music that he's been listening to lately, and we just kind of glom off of him and use
Hell
his
yeah.
picks for the episode. So he promptly sent in an email shortly after the last episode with a whole new list of his picks. So this is the first one off of that email from Tel Aviv, Israel. This is Def Chonky with X-Ray Baby.
I got an X-ray, baby. He keeps me up at night. He sees right through me, 'cause he's got his mother's eyes.
name. I don't know what Deaf Chonky means. My wife said something about maybe like a cat. I don't know. I lost it. I'm not very hip to the kids.
I was
lingo
reading
this
about
day-
him, and
these
it
days.
is Russian for girl or little girl or something like that.
Okay. All right.
And probably
So,
slang. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
I
know.
like cats.
Well,
I like
cats. Let's stick with cats. Let's just say it's a cat then. So yeah, a little bit of garage punk there, sent in by number
Love
one
it.
fan Spike. That was from their newest album, which I believe is their 4th studio album, called Harsh. The name of the song was X-Ray Baby, from Tel Aviv, Israel. I like when we get these bands from, I don't know, enclaves that aren't known for
Yeah.
Absolutely.
having punk music.
Represent.
Oh, yeah, I love it. And they do a good job, too. If they were doing a shitty job, I wouldn't like it as much. But, yeah, I like a good garage band every once in a while. I like the
I love
sound.
garage. I really enjoy, kids getting around and it's like, I don't have good instruments. I don't have good,
Recording,
gear.
yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
We're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, let's keep the train chugging along. This next one, I like taking picks from people, so I figured I'd make it 3 in a row. Boss Man Dave, number one fan Spike, and then Regan wanted to make a suggestion here, and I'm not one to ever turn down a special co-host. So, Regan, you get to intro this one. Go ahead and talk about it.
Another band that my drummer, we were on tour, and he was showing me this band. They're from Australia. And first I'm like, all right. And I don't know what happened. Like now I'm like a fucking super fan. And went to their back shit. It started with their album Waco. It's called Violent Soho. And it was like maybe 2017. Trey was all about this shit. Listening to this album Hungry Ghost. Waco comes out, was all about it. And then now they came out with an album called A-OK. And it's their new album, came out just this year, I think in March or around there. And the song's called Lying on the Floor. And man, especially during COVID, it's just fucking, it's all I want to do. So
Let's hear it, Bob.
I don't wanna be a photograph. They're like handing out brochures that a rapture is close. I don't want your philosophy. Nothing changes inside. Can I just run and hide like a cigarette holder, getting older and older? I'm falling, lift me out of the ground like a cigarette break. I just need a complaint, screaming hell as I fall back and say, lying on the floor is all I wanna do. Lying on the floor is all I wanna do. So thank you. I don't wanna be a memory. Stare at the ceiling above, keeping snapshots of God. I don't wanna be sold for free. All the states and their lies, can I just get by? Like a cigarette holder, getting older and older. I'm falling, lift me out of the ground. Like a cigarette break, I just need a complaint, screaming hell as I fall back and say, lying on the floor is all I wanna do. Lying on the floor is all I wanna do. So thank you. I don't wanna be fake. All these things that I say keep pulling my skin, just let me out. I don't wanna be cold, getting older and old. Keep twisting my thoughts, just let me out. Like a cigarette break, I just need a complaint. Some trap you made, just let me out. Find my sin bin, just throw me in. Lying on the floor is all I wanna do. Lying on the floor is all I wanna do. Don't let me hit the ground.
That was Lying on the Floor from Aussie band Violent Soho. That was from the new LP, Everything is A-OK. And that was sent in by our good friend Regan.
Hey.
Thanks for helping add to my laziness. It's really kind of detrimental to me. You're an enabler.
I am. They all tell me that.
The best part of it is I do nothing to contribute on this end. I make AP.
Come
Every
on.
once in a while, he's like, the outline's done. I'm like, cool, can you put this song in? And he's like, come the fuck on, man. I finished it. Next episode. And I'm like, I prefer it if you did it this episode.
Fine. And I always relent.
But
Content, babies.
the thing is he puts in the work up front. I put the work on the back end, or in the rear, where
always does.
I have to
He
do all
loves
the
work in the
editing and
rear.
stuff. So it ends up equaling itself out. I could on the back end say, "Hey AP, edit your shit," and he wouldn't be able to do that. So he's got to cut me a little bit of slack.
Little bit.
Speaking of Dying Scene, real quick. Speaking of Dying Scene, that's who put out our fucking Fits of Disorganized Boredom. It was our first ever label who ever wanted to put any of our shit out, by the way.
Dying Scene Radio. I have that noted a little bit later because I think we're gonna play a song from it. Little spoiler alert.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, yeah. So you probably know Dave pretty well.
Oh yeah, Dave Buck.
Yeah.
He
So
was,
there you go.
Boss
Man Dave.
I saw him last time I saw him was in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, he lives on another continent now.
He lives in
so-
South Africa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
his
still stay in
Instagram
touch,
is pretty
actually.
good. Yeah, he's a good guy. He,
Through
he
Instagram,
has a
we
family now.
message.
Yep, he has a family there and seems to be doing well.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
still, I guess, slowly chipping away at getting the website back up. But that's a story for another day. We're going to keep playing some fucking music because I'm sure that's what everybody wants to hear.
Hell yeah.
Next up, from Durham, North Carolina, this is Almost People with Old Soul 45.
We need straight lines, double cross, follow your heart to find the truth. We always want what we can't have, and what we've got we just abuse. And to keep the dream alive, I play my old soul 45s. I saw you dancing like no one could see.
punk, a little bit of pop punk. That makes you feel good too. People hate on pop punk and ska, both of them, but both of them make me feel good.
People hate on everything.
I know. I'm pretty.
I actually in my downtime I play fucking country music. So fuck me. Everybody's gonna hate it.
I don't think I'd go that far. Can't go down that hole.
Yeah, you guys are. I really just set the bar real low, so you can play whatever the fuck you want right now.
Name of the band was Almost People. Name of the song was Old Soul 45s. That was off of their new 4-track EP of the same name. Whole EP was really good. I don't know if you guys got a chance to listen to the rest of it.
No, I will now.
I spun it quite a few times while listening. I think sometimes I sabotage myself because when I'm picking songs, I start off knowing which one I want. But then sometimes I'm like, well, let me just listen to the album 20 times. And then I'm like, fuck, man. I've just sat here and listened to this thing on repeat for fucking 45 minutes.
I mean, it pays off.
Record.
You always pick good songs. It's funny. I was actually going back this week through our old playlist to see which Problem Daughter songs we've played, because I know we've played you guys a few times. And I wanted to make sure that whatever you picked wasn't something that we had already played in the past, because I wasn't expecting you to pick something off of an older album. And as I was going through it, I was like, fuck, man, AP, you've curated a really kick-ass playlist over the years. I mean, it is like 95% you who's done it. And so I went back through our 2017. I was just like, man, these are all fucking great songs and all bands that pretty much you have got me into that I wouldn't discovered 90% of it if it weren't for you. So I know that it probably feels like a pain in the ass listening to it, but also like, I don't know, you do a good job with it. So
thanks for sifting through it all.
Yes.
Thanks for sifting through it all.
Yeah.
I haven't done a good job with the inbox. I think we're approaching 1,700 unread emails. So
Wow, y'all.
Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. Well, you just
Bob, now's your time to shine, baby. Fucking get on that.
yeah. So it's a little daunting opening that up. It's to the point now where I'm just so scared of opening it up that it just keeps getting worse.
Is this on Facebook or is this on
No, this is
email?
on Gmail.
Okay.
Yeah, on our Gmail account. So,
wow.
And it's, a lot of it's junk, but I mean, I just don't have time to wade through it. So,
yeah.
But
what a hero. You're such a hero.
I can't
Fuck
get to
that.
it all, but I try. I'm not a fucking hero.
Goddamn, nobody messages me and just like, I can't fucking handle this. I can't handle the site.
Yeah, well, really, are these the problems that we have?
Right, yeah, I'm fucking complaining. It's like, man, Facebook is like fucking, it's like, man, the world's burning, rigged, fucking.
Right.
Chill the fuck out.
Right. Yeah, I can handle some emails, I'll live. Okay, let's round out our first block of music here with a little bit of hardcore. That gets your blood pumping for some news. I'm sure we're going to get into some news that's going to be a little confrontational. So let's get ready for it. Gloves are out. And we're going to start off with some hardcore. This one's from The Eradicator.
Oh, fuck, I love The Eradicator.
So, wait, we're going to have a little conversation here. These guys are from Chicago, Illinois, and their whole band is based on a Kids in the Hall skit. Bob, are you familiar with Kids in the Hall?
I am, yes.
Okay, so, and if you're not, it's like Canadian Saturday Night Live, but it was late 80s, early 90s. You probably know everybody that was in Kids in the Hall, but you might not know their name. So, yeah, these guys have they sound kind of like Direct Hit, which Problem Daughter played with here in Denver. I'm pretty sure Steve
and Danny play in The Eradicator a lot of the time.
It has a very similar sound to it, which is what drew me in. And then I found out that it's based on the Kids in the Hall skit, which is something to do with squash. There's like an overly aggressive squash player. So these guys come out and dressed up like the Eradicator, and they just fucking thrash. So
wait, you were saying two of the dudes from Clowns, Direct Hit?
Direct Hit, yeah. Danny, the drummer, and Steve, the bass player. Now they're in a great band called Myrtle's Acres. You got to check them out.
Cool.
They are playing in that now. So
I always love finding when band members play in other bands and then checking them out from there because it's fun to see.
They're actually, I don't think they're with Direct Hit anymore, but they're playing for the Eradicator and Myrtle's Acres. But
cool.
Danny and Steve, who did Wasted Mind and tons of, I think Brainless God. I know they go quite a ways back.
Yeah,
so.
That's awesome.
That's one of my favorite bands, and I got to catch them at Streets when you guys played with them here, and I just want you to know that was probably I got beat up
Did we
more
talk?
at that show. No, I was
gonna
shooting.
say, fuck.
I took pictures. I do pictures for all the shows. Well, I try to hit as many as possible.
Are you the one that you took the picture and everybody said that I looked like Scott Baio?
Yeah.
You were there.
Punk Rock Scott Baio. Your hair was longer than.
It was. I looked like shit. That was fun. I didn't know you were there.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I got decked down in the pit because I wasn't paying attention, so it was
APs
totally
everywhere.
on me. But yeah, I got beat up pretty good at that show. So
Interesting.
good job.
Fucking small world, man.
Yeah. All right, so let's play the music. Then we're going to hit up some news. This is The Eradicator from Chicago, Illinois. The name of the song is You Know Too Much About Me Already.
I got these motherfuckers sitting on the corner. They don't understand the order. It's the order and the essence that I bring to my game, to my name, to the fame that I enjoy, and I know it, and they know it, and they know it when they stand there on the corner, and they wanna start to dig for my name. If they fuck with my game, I will never be the same, and I know it, and they know it. They don't know anything yet, but they are taking the flow like a come on man. They got a second suspicion. The hands are within their grasp. With every second that they can get, taking our fix and left. With every second that I can get, I'm gonna come on my tracks. I got these motherfuckers standing by my desk and they wanna ask me about the things that I do when I'm not in their view. I don't know them, they can't know me. They can't know me cause I know they know about me. They know the stories from the order in the court. I bring the order in the court. Order in the court. Order in my court. They don't know anything yet, but they are taking the floor like a come on man. They got a second suspicion. The hands are within their grasp. With every second that they can get, taking our fix and left. With every second that I can get, I'm gonna come on back close. They wanna know my name. They're on the path. No more time is left. No more time is left. Protected by the rest. You know me too much, you know me too much. You know me too much, you know me too much. You know me too much, you know me too much. You know too much about me. You know me too much, you know me too much. You know me too much, you know me too much. You know me too much, you know me too much. You know too much about me. You know me too much, you know me too much. You know me too much, you know me too much. You know me too much, you know me too much. You know too much about me. You know too much about me already. Don't want your presence. Don't want you digging. You know too much about me already. Stop digging. Stop researching my life. You know too much about me already. They won't stop. They won't stop.
That was The Eradicator, Chicago, Illinois. Name of the song, You Know Too Much About Me Already, which is a line directly from the Kids in the Hall skit. So, now, I guess no, because we were talking about something offline. So before we get into the news, we're going to talk about the last time that Problem Daughter came through Denver, you said that you guys got a free burrito, right? From
Yeah, we did.
Illegal Pete's?
Illegal Pete's. I was just going to say, the funny thing is I can't remember the show at all, but I remember it before the show, and I remember it was fucking great.
If you can't remember the show, but you can remember the burrito, it was a fucking fire
Fantastic.
burrito.
And I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Like it was like they took such good care of us. We rolled in, never played there before. We never played in Denver before, and you know, it was just fantastic the way that they took care of us. And I would love to go there again.
They do like a traveling artist program, and it's not
I didn't know
just
that until we
punk.
rolled in.
Yeah, so if any bands are listening and they're planning tours, I know nobody's really touring now, but if you come through Denver, definitely follow Illegal Pete's on Instagram and everything. But if you message them, I think, before you get here and let them know, hey, I'm touring, here's my band, they give you free food.
Well, that's what was so great, because a direct hit, when we were with them and we were sharing a van, and I remember we rolled in and we had no idea about this. And there's like, so do you know about Illegal Pete's? I'm like, no. They're like, dude, we're rolling in. And usually they're like, give us like a day to know who's coming.
Yeah.
And they're like, you didn't sign up? And they still gave us food.
That's awesome.
I was just like, fucking thank you.
It's a pretty neat little place. They got, beer and stuff that you can get to. So follow Illegal Pete's here in Denver. They got a couple locations, and they're most of the locations are near venues, so you can stop by right before the show, grab something to eat, let it digest a little bit before you get on a stage and start sweating. So,
dude, I just followed them on Instagram, and they have a post with fucking taquitos and pesto sauce, and it looks so goddamn good.
Yeah, so there we go. And so Illegal Pete's got a follower. Your podcast got a follower. The Podyssey got a follower because my wife is an avid reader, and I just told her while we went on our pee break, and she followed it. So we're increasing people's social media presence while also playing some good music and covering some news, which we're now going to get into. Bob, this first story's all yours, buddy. This is the one thing you contributed. Step up to the plate, buddy.
There's always one thing. There's always one thing I contributed.
Here's Bob's sole contribution of the episode.
That was the most underhanded compliment. It's like, this is great, Bob. It's the one thing you ever do.
They're always backhanded compliments when they're from AP. There's never a straight. Maybe once I've gotten like a nice
have a
compliment.
great dynamic.
Yeah,
You both have a great dynamic.
Thanks.
I love it.
So classics of love.
Everyone likes power, I wish I had some. But you would kill the prophets for your place in the sun. Now it's up to us to keep you well healed. And all you care about is what it builds.
Classics of Love. Operation Ivy frontman and Common Writer frontman Jesse Michaels has released, this is his second EP from Classics of Love, and he has one LP. The first EP was back in 2009, I want to say, and then they
I only know that one song.
Which one?
At one, I'm sitting and thinking of all the beautiful things you're gonna become.
So I believe that might be the Common Writer song Classics of Love.
Shit, that probably is.
I'm trying to put my finger on it because I was never a big a big Common Writer fan. But Op Ivy is one of my favorite
You're
bands.
right. Yeah, no, I grew up with Op, but
and then,
you're absolutely right. It was Common Writer.
Yeah,
Classics
and
of Love.
so then they came out with Classics of Love afterwards. So he said, I was listening to an interview recently, and he was saying he had a dream years ago where in the dream a reggae band was playing a song called Classics of Love, and he knew after that he had to like write a song called Classics of Love, and then just liked it and wanted to stick with it. So then he transferred that to his band name. And when he originally did the Classics of Love album in 2012, which is fucking fantastic, by the way, if you've never heard it, I mean, it is on par with it's on par with Operation Ivy. I don't think that Common Writer really is, although maybe I haven't given them that much of a chance. Classics of Love definitely is. And
I'm still getting them confused. I'm still getting that confused. You were just talking about. I know Common Writer.
Yes.
I know Common Writer's Classics of Love.
Yes.
I'll check out Classics of Love.
Yes, his same band, or his band under the same name with different people. It's a lot more like Operation Ivy. I know, sorry.
And one band's going to write a song that's named the other band.
Well, it's Jesse Michaels, and he just wanted to
like
keep...
Inception.
He wanted
the Jesse Michaels vessel.
Yeah, and so he wanted to keep that name, transferred it to the band, and so Hard
Great name.
Girls.
We found you in the bathroom, face down in a puddle of blood. And when we started crying,
Hard Girls was the backing band for his first EP and the LP that he did, and so this time around he couldn't really get Hard Girls together. I don't know why or what was going on, and so he got a few different people. It's the guitar player from Alice Bag and Exploding Flowers, which are both LA-based bands. So he plays guitar in that, and he also plays bass. Jesse, I think, really just structures and writes all the songs on guitar, but he says he's not a very good musician, so he has other people then write over it, do leads, things like that. And then I forget who they got on drums, but it's just a 5-song EP, and it is literally the hardest music he's ever done. And in one of the interviews I was listening to, he's like, so what's with the change in like the style of music? He's like, I don't know. I've always really just listened to hardcore bands and hardcore music and never done it. I've always done ska or something, like that, reggae. And it's taken me this long. He's like, I've always wanted to do it. It's just taken me this long to like actually go like, oh, I can do it. And it's not that far off from what he was already doing. It's just the music's harder. There's no ska riffs in it, really. And so, and I mean, he's just screaming pretty much the whole time, with the exception of the last song. But like, I would equate it to something like, it's a mix between Minor Threat and Operation Ivy. That's exactly what it is. Like,
that's cool.
It's really fucking awesome. So it's their new EP. It's 5 songs. It's called World of Burning Hate. And he started it after COVID. So he was working on some classic stuff. I hit him up a few years ago on Instagram, and surprisingly enough, he hit me back, and I was like, hey man, dude, I love Classics of Love. 7 years later, I'm still rocking it. It's fantastic. Are you going to do more stuff? Which I'm sure he appreciated someone being like, hey, when's Op Ivy getting back together? Like, I'm sure he appreciates somebody,
another person.
Enjoying his
Nobody's
new
ever
stuff.
asked him that before.
Yeah. So I'm assuming he appreciated that. He responded and said, thanks, that's good to hear. I've been thinking about doing it lately. And so what he said is he was working on some Classics of Love stuff, and then COVID happened and it fell apart, and he ended up doing some other stuff and just decided to call it under the same name. He said, like, I'm however old he is now, 50 or 51, and he's just like, I just don't want to keep coming up with new band names. I like this. Can I just keep it? And Hard Girls were like, yeah, go for it. So it's a different band, but it's still the same name, and he's still going to do some other classic stuff, I think, with Hard Girls, and I think everything from here on out, no matter who he does it with or what it is just going to be called Classics of Love.
I understand.
Which is cool. It's fine, and it's, I think sort of better than just calling it Jesse Michaels or the Jesse Michaels Band.
Yeah. Almost like an artist name. Like it's like that's his name of his solo or whatever whatever vessel he plans on doing.
Yep.
Is like that's his thing.
Absolutely. So anyways, this came out. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out, buy it. It says it's going to be released on August 29th, which I don't know what that means. I'm hoping that means it'll be like released on vinyl or something, because I would love to support it and pay for it. And you can on Bandcamp. I think it's $4 or $5 for the EP, but like, I don't want a digital download because there's nothing I'm going to do with it. I don't have anything that I can put it on that I would listen to. I suppose somehow my things sync with Spotify, but like, if worst comes to worst, I'll just give the guy $5 for it or whatever. I'd rather just Venmo him money than give it to Bandcamp and let them take $1 of it. But so I'm hoping it when it's released, quote unquote, on the 29th, even though it's already out, it's on vinyl or something, so I can actually buy something, give money to him, and have something cool to listen to.
Hold on to. Something to hold on to.
Yep, exactly.
You put it under your pillow at night.
Yeah.
Well, good story, Bob. I'm glad that you sent that in. I think everybody should go check it out, and I think that everybody should download it on digital.
Did you listen to the whole thing?
No, I didn't. I listened to a little bit of it, but I had to start working on the playlist for this. So that's the thing. I can't like enjoy music as much as I would like to sometimes.
I know.
But yeah, no. For what I listened to, you're right. It was a lot harder than what I was expecting.
Yeah,
and that was kind of a pleasant surprise.
Absolutely,
and it's done with a level of skill that you usually don't find in kind of like a lot of hardcore bands. So.
Dude, and because of this, I've been obsessed with them again lately. I've always been, but I started going back and listening.
We played with Hard Girls forever ago too. I can't even tell you when, in Salt Lake City.
Oh, really?
A place called Diabolical Records.
That's awesome.
And I cannot tell you what year that was. I can't fucking tell you. Where, like I just remember where it was.
You attribute it to the alcohol, and in 10 years you're gonna be like, yeah, I was sober, and I don't fucking remember any of these places.
It's like I have memories just swimming up there.
Yeah.
But it's like you tell me, it's like what year was it? It's like somewhere between 2002 and 2006.
Oh fuck. Yeah, those are the years that put the wear and tear on you.
Yeah.
But as long as you make it through the other side, you usually turn out all right.
Yep.
I actually, I should say that, I chose those dates arbitrarily. I was not doing shit like that.
I was still in high
like
school.
12 and fucking, I just grabbed them out of my head.
Okay, so let's move on from some good news, new music, to some, I guess it's bad news, but it's kind of a mixed bag. So Burger Records. Burger Records, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard of, kind of collapsed all of a sudden I think it was there near the end of July, amidst allegations of sexual misconduct and illegal activity from a lot of the bands that are associated with it, with the label. So, they obviously ran into a lot of trouble publicly. They tried to, kind of put out a statement that I don't think really, I don't know, I don't think it really satisfied everybody. They said that they were going to start changing things. They were going to put a new interim president in place, a female interim president, I think, to kind of show that they're really working on it. But then, I think it was 24 hours later, Jessa Zapor Gray, which is the lady that they had tapped for the interim president, she came out with a statement saying that, it's just not for her. It didn't sound like, she wasn't going to be able to do the things that she wanted. So it sounded like maybe there was a little bit of stubbornness there. I don't know. There was a little...
maybe just the allegations were
yeah,
so...
maybe it was too much.
Yeah.
But either way, they decided just to do away with Burger Records altogether.
Yeah.
So that label is no longer a thing, and I'm sure that there were some bands on that label that, were good people and were not, accused of anything.
Right.
They are now, hurting and looking for some help there. So I would definitely take a look at some of these bands and some of the allegations and see what kind of bands you really want to associate with, because I think that's a big thing these days. There's a lot of people in our industry that almost want to disassociate with who they book for a show in their venue. Absolutely. Or who they sign to a label, and they almost kind of like wipe their hands of it and say, well, it's not my responsibility. I'm here to book shows or sell records.
Right.
So I always caution people in a position like this that do a little bit of research before you sign. Just it's easy to do. You can do it on your phone while you're sitting on the shitter.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Instead of scrolling through memes, do a little research on these bands that you're signing and that you're booking for your venues, and be a little bit more cautious.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of cancel culture, which seems to be a big buzzword these days. But I mean, consider the people that you want in your establishment.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying. I know I was raised to believe, you're birds of a feather. Mind the company that you keep, because that's who you're going to be associated with.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people that don't take that into consideration. So please do. I'm sure there's some bands that you don't want to be associated with from the old Burger Records, but I'm sure that there are some.
Was it
may
more
need some
about
help.
the bands, or was it about the people running the record label, or both?
I think it sounded like a little bit of both, but I think it was primarily the bands.
Gotcha.
When my friend shared me that article, I remember reading it. Before I read it, said Burger Records allegations, and I remember thinking, like, the fuck calls the record label Burger Records? It's probably some fucking dumbass record label. I click on it and I'm like, oh shit, I know all of these fucking bands. I listen to all these fucking bands.
Yeah.
And it was so fucking horrifying and disappointing. But and on that scope, like you were saying, I don't really know, but if you have this many people, you almost assume that there is some sort of culture that this label was, actually turning a blind eye to. And again,
right.
I never knew this label. I knew these bands. I never heard of this label in my fucking life until this happened.
Right, yes.
And I was just like, who fucking calls their label that? It's fucking stupid as fuck. Thinking it's going to be some, like, who cares? And then I click on it and it was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit, all these fucking bands. And then the more and more came out, and that's what I was joking. I've been living under a rock for a year, but like like hearing this and like it's like you just gotta kind of always take everything with a little bit of a grain of salt. But also it's like there's no way that like to me at least that a label could know that there was this many bands and they weren't aware of something like
Right.
that.
Almost not. I don't know if I want to go as far as complicit, but yeah, I think that they're turning a blind eye, and I think that's where they got into trouble, and they were a little bit guilty. And I just like to always give credit where it's due too. So the initial story, I guess if you want to call it that, broke because of an Instagram account called Lured by Burger. So check them out, because you always want to give victims a voice and an avenue to tell their story.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure there's going to be more as people feel a little bit more comfortable stepping forward now. So definitely give them a follow and listen to their stories. Always.
Always.
You can't discount these things, and I think it's especially true in our scene. This isn't the first time. This is,
unfortunately not. Like, unfortunately not.
And at some point, you gotta just say, "Fuck you guys, stop."
Cut it
stop.
Cut. It's like, much like any other, you see the Me Too movement and cinema and all these different things. It's like just cut. Like it's like let's just cut off that fucking fat. Start it over again. Burn it the fuck down. Fuck them. There were bands that I didn't. There's a lot that I didn't know, but there's some that horrified me. Fucking horrified me. And it's like those kind of allegations to somebody that's like I love that band. I love that band, and to hear about it, it was just like it's so fucking disappointing. But at that point, it's just like also it's like what, my disappointment does not equate what they've done or the people that are actually victims to this.
Right,
so like
exactly.
You can only imagine. So like what, fuck them.
Yeah. And that's what I mean about, cancel culture is one thing, and minding the company you keep and the people you associate with and the people that you book and the people that you sign, that's different. That's a choice that you make as a company owner or business owner.
Yeah.
And you need to make better decisions.
Absolutely.
So that's my rant. Fuck it. Let's move on to better news. Strike Anywhere.
Sister, I won't let you go. I won't let them take you into the silence of our past and fight.
Strike Anywhere has released their new album, Nightmares of the West. Yeah, it kind of dropped. I was a little bit surprised by it, but the album came out mid-July via Pure Noise. Lots of good tracks. I think Frontier Glitch was released just before the album actually dropped. Do they still say that? Can we say the album dropped?
Yeah.
The album uploaded.
Before they uploaded the album. But yeah, no, I think I love Strike Anywhere. Like you said, Regan, they're fucking great, and I think the atmosphere that we're in now breeds the perfect music. It's almost like when things, not that anything was ever really great here, I don't want to like say, oh yeah, Obama was great. Shit was still happening, but I think domestically everything was a little bit calmer, and
things were certainly fucking better. Jesus
I think
Christ.
Domestically, I think we're always going to be an empire abroad that needs to get the fuck out, and we're going to be oppressors, and it happens. So, but I think domestically we were doing a little bit better than we are now, and Strike Anywhere was a little bit quiet. You didn't hear a lot from them, and I think they did have one album kind of during that time, maybe two, and they were a little bit lower on my scale of Strike Anywhere albums. And man, this one just came out banging, so it's the perfect time for Strike Anywhere. I'm glad that they put out a little bit more. Not that the other music wasn't full of rage, but I think now you can kind of feel it a little more. It's more tangible, their rage, and rightly so. So.
It's funny. I love that band so much, but I was a late bloomer. I found them. What is it? I think it's called, Dead FM is the album. I remember I skipped school and went to like an FYE, and I'm just like, oh no, it looks fucking cool. I'll buy it. And ever since then, I'm like, gotta fucking go back and listen to this band. And ever since then, we saw them with Polar Bear Club and Ruiner and Crime in Stereo, and like again, I don't fucking know. I can't tell you. Like 10 years ago, so 9 years ago, something like that.
fucking brilliant. Yeah, I'm always glad to see them, and I'm glad that they're a little more inspired this time, I guess. I don't know. Fuck. What do I know? Next up, so a bunch of musicians released a cover of Black Flag's Rise Above. It was Tim McElrath, I always fuck up his name, of Rise Against, Lou Kohler of Sick of It All, Mike Herrera of MXPX,
yeah.
Yep, Darren Pfeiffer of Goldfinger, Moby was in there, Valerie Knox of Anti-Queens. Who else do we got here? Mike Krusty of Krusty Media, Mike Howden of Fairmounts. So I don't know if you guys checked out the video or not, but it's pretty cool. They
did, yes.
Everybody kind of logged in remotely, kind of like we're doing here, and had their instruments, and everybody kind of contributed. And it sounded pretty fucking amazing.
I would love to check that out.
Yeah, it's fucking great. Like, if people are trying to find a way to keep yourselves entertained, keep the fans entertained, even if it's, it's like, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's fun. It's a ton of fun. And of course, everybody knows Rise Above and can scream along with it. So
even somebody like Moby.
even
somebody like me,
Moby.
like I do know, like I'm gonna admit to you guys, like I never got really into Black Flag, but do know that one, and I do know Nervous Breakdown.
So anybody can sing it. Highly recommend checking it out. It's a really fun video, and it's just something to kill a little bit of time in these dreary days. I don't even know if it's really news, but it was a fun little story. So something that was definitely news, Michael Graves, I guess, of Misfits and others, it says he's a proud Western chauvinist. So that's
My
some breaking
partner
news.
just told me about this. Like,
Yeah.
like it's like, because I was just sitting there, and she was just like, yeah, did he hear about this? I'm like, oh, he says shit all the fucking time. Fuck that guy. And then she told me what he just fucking said. Like, fucking, what the fuck is wrong with that guy?
And at least he came right out and said it. So
Yeah, it's
I
like,
guess you
get him
give
out in the open. Get him
points
out in the
for that.
fucking open. Let's be done with this shit.
Yeah. So I think he's gone a little bit down the InfoWars rabbit hole with Alex Jones, and he's come out the other end.
As a proud boy.
Not looking so good. So, of course, all of his Instagram and everything has now been shut down, which, again, I mean, whatever. If you're going to shut him down, I'm a firm believer in just letting him rant and run his mouth and look like an asshole.
Yeah.
But terms and conditions, buddy. He should have read the terms and conditions.
Yeah, but again, and that's the thing. This is an Instagram rule.
Exactly.
They took it down, and that's their rule. So, I've been banned on Facebook sometimes for.
I had a
things,
conversation with this on my other podcast with my buddy, and he was saying, like, dude, when you ban people for this shit, you're just adding fuel to their fire. Like, it's not helping any by banning somebody
Anger.
like him or taking down these videos for fake news. Like, let him stay up and look like fucking idiots. I mean, and honestly, like, would you expect anything intelligent to come out of anybody's mouth who's ever been in the Misfits except for maybe Doyle von Frankenstein? Like, he's the only one I might expect something intellectual to come out of. Everybody else, I'm like, I'm not surprised. Like,
The only thing I have in common with any of those guys is that I actually really enjoy New Jersey. That's a fine place to me.
I can't say I like it too much. I spent some time there.
My ex-wife, she's from Passaic, New Jersey, and I tell people all the time, they're like, "Doesn't that place suck?" I'm like, "I fucking love New Jersey.
Yeah.
I fucking love it."
what about it did you enjoy? Just that it wasn't Utah, or?
Honestly, no. I started going there in my early 20s. Passaic is right outside of Hoboken, which is like right under. You go under the Lincoln Tunnel. You're in New York, and just had some fun fucking memories. Like I loved staying there. I loved the area the way that she lived in, and I really enjoyed. I actually have a story. One time I had a plane to catch the next day, and we were in a park in Clifton, and I took off my leather jacket, and I was drunk off Four Loko, and lost all my goddamn shit, and my roommate, because I got fucking lost in Clifton, New Jersey, my roommate in Utah, their name is Chandra, had to file a missing persons report for me. And all of a sudden I see the cops with their spotlights in the middle of the night. I'm about to run. They're like, "Wait, Regan Ashton?" I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, is this
They're
a
like,
Truman
"We're not here
Show?
to arrest you. We're here to help you." And I'm like, what the fuck? And they helped me. They were like cruising through this park, and they found my jacket. And then one of the cops, after like they find it, he's like, "We're not gonna arrest you. We're not gonna press charges, but stay the fuck out of Clifton." I'm like, "You got it."
Done.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so Michael Graves is a Proud Boy. So that's all, I guess, the takeaway from that. By the way, did you guys see the story of the Proud Boy founder, Gavin McInnes, on his radio show, put a dildo in his ass, put a butt plug in his ass to prove that he likes gay people?
That's
What?
interesting.
It's like, first of all, it's like I like do your thing, but like how is that proving fucking anything? Like do whatever you fucking want.
It's like, I'm
but
not
also
gay,
it's
I'll
like,
take a shot
see,
in the
look at
mouth.
this. Yeah, it's like, are you kidding me? You kidding
Yeah.
me? You're missing this point entirely, man.
Well
I
said.
don't understand it myself. I just thought I would throw that in because that was a news story. I think I saw
wonder
it today. So.
if Bobby Pickles did that too, because I know Bobby Pickles was licking that guy's
Oh,
boot for a
it's-
minute there.
Woof. I'm vaguely aware of this, man.
Yeah. Well, you got to own the libs, man. The only way you can do it is to put a dildo up your ass.
Burn the world down. Let's own the libs. Like it's like I hope you're happy where we're at. It's like own the libs.
Yep.
Yeah. So on to better news, and this isn't
Thank
even
God.
news either. I threw in stuff that isn't news to break up all the depressing news.
Thank God, because
Yeah.
we got off. Bob and I fucking just went off on a rant that just brought this
telling
shit
you.
down for an hour.
Yeah,
Try to
but
keep
like,
things up.
it's nice
just
to know
bringing
where
them
your
down.
music comes from. You know?
Hey, thanks.
So our good friend Mr. Jay Stone has been doing his both laugh series over on Instagram and I guess YouTube now. I didn't know Dying Scene had a YouTube page. We might have to see if he'll let us put our podcast up on there. But he just this last week, I think a couple days ago, he scored an awesome interview with Mr. Jay Bentley from Bad Religion. They were talking about Bad Religion's new book, which is on my to read book. Regan, you need to add it if you're on.
I actually my partner now but she's just finished it and says it was great.
What? She already finished it. I didn't even know it was out yet.
It's not.
Oh my
it's
God.
not.
You know what? Maybe we should take this part out because I also haven't told anybody who had all this. I'm like, that's why I'm just like, wait a second.
We won't talk about it. I think we can mention that it's been read. I'm sure Jay read it before his interview, so I'm sure they do send it out to a few.
Yeah,
people.
that's true.
Yeah.
But I will mark the 87-minute mark if you decide
Yeah,
at the
I
end.
actually have not told anybody who it's like I'm with, and as soon as I started opening my mouth, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm not going to out our relationship on fucking in a podcast when we haven't even told anybody or anything. Not that it's like a big deal, but maybe you know, maybe
it's
just
like-
shut my mouth now, kind of thing.
Always the best idea. Just
Yeah.
keep it. If you're unsure, zip your lip.
Said it was great though. She said it was great.
I'm sure. And one day we're all gonna know. It's gonna be out there. Everybody's gonna know. It's not gonna be a secret anymore.
He's dating the girl who did the interview 7 years ago
I know, and you don't
for
talk
Punk
shit
Rock
about her,
Bowling,
man.
and I'm
That's why he doesn't
talking
wanna
shit
say
about
anything.
her.
Oh my God. Fucking 5 years
He's
later.
like,
they're
anyways,
married.
so you know the girl from Punk Across the World or whatever that was.
It's like that's what I was just like. I was laughing, but you saw fucking hate in my eyes.
Oh fuck. So definitely go over and check out Instagram, check out Dying Scene on YouTube, and Jay's doing a really good job. Last one with Jay Bentley was incredible. I think he's also doing an
He did
interview.
he did one with Hot Water Music, right? With yeah, that was on Bad Copy. That was on
Yeah, he did an
Yeah.
interview with Hot Water Music, and
Chris
since
Creswell.
Dying Scene's down, he went ahead and just told Bad Copy to post it. But yeah, he's done quite a few, and there's another cool one coming up. I can't remember.
Yeah,
who right
I'm
offhand,
just so fucking jealous of Jay, like of everybody who he gets
know,
on
he's
there, and then
fucking way
he
cooler than
doesn't
us.
do it with us. I'm like, dude, We've got the podcast. Put it on the podcast with us. And he's like,
but I mean, take a step back. Look at this high level. You're standing on a
I know.
cliff.
No,
You're
I know. I'm
looking
saying I'm
down
jealous.
At you and me.
I'm saying
Would
I'm
you
jealous.
really want to work with us?
Yes.
No.
I'm
He's
jealous.
a smart man.
And he's just got so many connections, and he's got
Yeah.
such a great relationship and such an easygoing person. Like, I also think I'm like, well, in 10 or 15 years, like after we've been doing this podcast and stuff for a while, I'm sure we'll know a few people. We'll be like, oh, let's get Regan on from Problem Daughter. We've known him for 15 years now. And by that point, can I also just say, I know we're like past sort of the interview part or whatever we're doing, but like, do you ever feel like if this was the mid-90s, that Problem Daughter would be fucking huge? Like...
Honestly, I've never really thought about it until actually we were a band for so long before we toured. It wasn't the only reason why we even started doing anything. We would have been a local band forever. It was actually we came out with Fitz, and Nick Woods of Direct Hit said, hey, if you guys can make it to the East Coast and bring your own van, you can hop on the tour package with us and pew pew pew. And we're like, buying a van?
Yeah.
Yes, I guess we're touring now. And that was like, yeah, it's like that's how it started. Like
Yeah.
it's like we were just and still am. I'm just very fortunate to play, very very happy to play, having to write songs that people actually enjoy.
You guys are awesome, and if this was 20 or 30 years ago, you guys would be fucking huge already. The band,
appreciate that.
the music is just so saturated, but it's honest. Like I mean, it's a challenge because it's 2020, and there's so much music that's already out there. It's like. I don't know what you feel like the obstacles are to your band, or if you guys just need to get better, but it's not that. It's not that you need to get better at all. It's like you guys are catchy as fuck. You guys are extremely talented. I hope. I don't know what Wiretap has done for you guys thus far. We know Rob. I've done an interview with Rob. I fucking love that guy.
Rob's great. I love Rob. Rob's a great person. We loved putting on that last record. Through Wiretap. Loved working with Rob.
I know he does like a bunch of shows and stuff. Does he help get tours together for you guys, or like what is it that he's helped with?
He does a lot. Mostly you kind of book your own shit, but he also like he really pushes for his bands to get on Fest. He pushes for his bands to he does everything he can. He helps you with making records. He helps you with pressing them. He helps you with so many things. He has a great relationship with Mike from Earshot Media, who helps with PR and shit. And so he does a lot for the touring and stuff. That's kind of it's on the bands, which is totally understandable. You got to do the legwork.
Sure.
You got to do a lot.
Yeah.
But he does a lot, and I've always appreciated all of his hard work and all of his help. So
yeah. Well, at least you're not on Burger Records, and you're with somebody like Rob,
fuck.
who like is a
Don't have to worry about Wiretap bands.
Not at all.
I can guarantee.
I mean, he's just got such a good like work ethic, and he's so hardworking. Like that's awesome that you guys are on there. But anyways, the point of all of this is check out Jay's interview. I'm a little jealous of him, but in 15 years, Regan, when you guys are huge, we're bringing you back, and you owe us favors already. No, I'm just kidding.
no, Dying Scene. I own Dying Scene again. They were the only person who took a chance. We sent that everywhere, and people were like, I'm not going to touch this with a 10-foot fucking pole. And then Dave Buck was just like, yeah, dude, I'll put it out. I'm just like, fuck yeah, thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Which got it out, and that's how fucking Nick Woods, he's just like, we played with you guys in like 2013 on the Red Scare tour with Mixtapes and Elway.
Yeah.
And he's like, I remember you guys. Also, I heard your shit through Dying Scene. I'm just like, again, it's all started with fucking Dave Buck just being like, nobody will touch you. That's fine, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's awesome.
appreciate it, Dave.
That's where all the click money goes. We usually just use that for site upkeep and putting out a record every couple of years.
I've appreciated that help. So if anything, I owe Dying Scene a fucking more favors than one. So.
Remember that in 15 years.
If I'm still doing this. Doing this.
Okay, earlier we said Strike Anywhere. It's the perfect time for them to release an album. Well, I might be able to one-up that. Jello Biafra and the Guantanamo School of Medicine.
Pilgrim Justice Salem, Mass. 1692. Witches drowned in rock sacks, baby. Santa's ears removed.
Released a music video for their song The Last Big Gulp. which is from their upcoming album, Tea Party Revenge Porn, which is due out later this fall, of course, via Alternative Tentacles. So I don't know about you guys, but I grew up listening to Dead Kennedys and Jello Biafra. So I've just been waiting for the perfect time for him to resurface. And I guess he lives in Boulder. He spends a lot of time here in Denver at one of the little dive bars. Yeah, every I think it might be every New Year's, he puts on like a disco New Year's party where he's like spinning records and playing weird music and doing weird shit. I usually have shows to shoot, so I still haven't made it, but I want to make it one year. But yeah, I think probably more so than Strike Anywhere, it's a better time for Jello Biafra. Bob,
Yeah.
I see you nodding your head.
I definitely agree. Did you watch the video or just listen to the song?
Yeah, no, I watched some of it.
Dude, my favorite part is where Kim Jong-un and Trump are jerking each other's rockets off. They've got like nuclear missiles for dicks, and they're just jerking each other off.
Sounds like a Jello Biafra thing.
It was actually a fantastic video. I thoroughly enjoyed just how
heavily influenced by DKs. We have a thing here in Salt Lake City called Punk Rock Halloween. Mostly every year. It won't happen this year. We did the Germs one year. I have scars on my chest from fucking being fucking ripping it open from being Darby Crash. But we also, it's all on YouTube. We also did a Dead Kennedys cover set, and we went all out with our fucking shirts with the black ties and the fucking the money sign and shit. And it's that was again like 2013, 14.
Yeah.
But a huge influence of like making it music that's like I can do whatever the fuck I want. Fuck it.
Wait, so do all the bands who play that show like choose a band to cover?
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna have to go out to you guys for Halloween one year because that sounds like a fucking blast.
Last year we did the same set that we played at Fest. We did Rancid.
Okay.
And everybody just dresses up, plays the part. Just just cosplaying.
Incredible. That sounds like a.
How long do your sets end up being? Just a half hour or what?
I would say maybe 45 minutes. Sometimes they drag it into an hour. There was these where we played the Germs one, we played the Dead Kennedys, we played the Damned. I can't remember what we played after that. And then we played Rancid. But it's just really depends. A lot of people just kind of maybe they'll play 4 songs, maybe they'll go all out and play like a fucking whole album or something. So it goes out into the night. So
do you have fun doing that? Or is it more
I
like
love it.
Okay, yeah, because
I love dressing up. I love pretending. I'll fucking do the Tim Armstrong accent. I'll fucking cut my shit up like Darby Crash. I'll sit there and be like,
let's hear it.
Now it is 1984. Fucking Jello, fucking shit like that. I love it. I love it to death. So it's something that my band is like, yeah, it's kind of fun. I'm like, I love dressing up and just pretending.
See,
take me out of this life and fucking
I'm
let
at
me
the
be somebody else for a
I'm
little
at the
bit.
point right now where all I want to do is cover bands. I'm like, I'm done fucking. I'm 35, so I'm like, I don't give a shit about writing music anymore. If I'm gonna write music, I've got my own songs I want to write, and I'll just write them at home and fucking play them myself and record them for myself and listen to them myself and jerk off by myself. And if I'm gonna play music for other people, I'm like, I don't want to write and perform for other people anymore. I'll do it, and especially with other bands, it's still fun, but it's like so much work that goes into it. And I'm like, I just want to start a TK cover band or something, or just fucking cover a bunch of 80s punk or 90s punk. I don't even give a shit. I just want to go play it and have people show up to the show and sing the songs. And like have it be a fun vibe, because there are times too, like part of it's like, okay, I'm 35, we play a show and 10 people show up and nobody gives a shit about what we're playing and nobody's into it. And there are times where everyone's into it, it's fun, but it's like, I like going to shows because I like knowing the songs and listening to them, and I'll go to local shows and support my friends and stuff, and that's fun too. But like, that's what I have fun doing, and if that's what I have fun doing and that's what I want to see, like, that's probably what other people want to say too. So I'm like,
even if you see a new band, it's like, this is pretty cool, and then they play a cover that I'm like, I'm going fucking crazy.
right? And so it's like, you gotta like, I don't know. I feel like nowadays, even then, how many times did you go to a show and hear a band you've never heard before and be like, they're the best, I'm super into this? It's like almost never. It's happened to me once. And the only... do you know Foxy Shazam? Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah, my guitarist was really Foxy Shazam. How do I think Shane loves that band, and I can't remember what they play.
I mean, you probably wouldn't know them. They never got that big, but they were on tour with the Fall of Troy years and years ago, back in like 2008 or 9, and I saw them, and this band opened for them, and the only reason I remember them is because their keyboardist had this long beard, and he shaved it down the middle so it was split in two and like pulled to the side, and he would play the piano and just put his foot up on the piano while he's playing and just fucking smash it. And then their singer asked for a bunch of cigarettes mid show.
Oh yeah, he puts like a shit ton in his mouth,
and then
right?
he turns around and eats them all while they're lit and swallows them.
Yeah,
and then
I do know that. I do know that.
And then he made the keyboard player get down on all fours, and he a cappella sang the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air while pretending to play keyboards on his keyboardist's back, who was like howling on all fours. So because they were so fucking insane, that's the only reason I remembered them, and the only reason I'm like, dude, they were awesome is because of how fucking crazy they were live.
You go to a show, you want to see a show.
Oh yeah, so that is probably one of the only bands that I've seen live that I didn't know, that I was just like, I am going to go buy their record, and I did. Other than that, it's so seldom. Like I find them on Spotify, you know, and I go and then I know, and then I go see them because of that. So anyway. Sorry,
I think you should start a cover band, an Aquabats cover band, and call yourselves the Aqua Hacks.
The Aqua Hacks, very nice. I like that.
I'm on it.
We'll have to give you credit.
All right, listen, so since we've been talking about playing your own music and how sick you are of it, Bob, I know Regan's not. So why don't this is another one. We're gonna play something from Problem Daughter. Regan, intro this one.
If it splinters, that's it's actually about when I was in Edgewater, New Jersey, and I was going through a time. I had been like 23. I was with. We weren't married at the time, but I was out there because I was staying with her, and was really into a point where it's like, you know, it wasn't vibing. It was kind of a weird time in our band. It's before we wrote Fits and we came back together, you know, but there was a time that I was just, you know, I didn't know if it was worth it, and then realizing that, you know, all I want to do is play music with my friends, and I don't want to do this alone. It's more important to me. The music itself is fine, you know, I like to write and everything, but I realized how much important it was to fix my relationship with my band. Instead of breaking up, we came together and wrote this record, and, you know, this whole song is about sitting at Edgewater and thinking, you know, I think I might be done, you know, and turns out that the chorus says, it's so hard to sing without you, you know, and it's so hard to sing and never doubt, you know, and it's embarrassing to think that I can be something because a beautiful, thick mind is my escape. And that kind of feeling of, it's like, I feel like I can actually fix this instead of fucking just bailing, jumping out that window and fucking just getting out of here. So. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you did the work, because the rest of the album was pretty fucking incredible. It was one of my favorite Dying Scene Records albums that we've put out. So this is from the album Fits of Disorganized Boredom. The name of the song is Splinters. This is Utah's finest punk rock, Problem Daughter.
Is it me? Is it you? Is it all we ever do? Is to compete, to set, to disagree, and a modicum of sleep. Way back, I told you once, I don't mean to get so fucking angry.
Name of the song was Splinters. Name of the band, Problem Daughter. Salt Lake City, Utah. I guess there's not a lot going on there these days, huh? Lots of COVID out there, but other than that, not much. Yeah, I've had conversations with people. I don't know. I'm not religious. I'm a little left-leaning, if you can't tell. And I always say, I don't think I could live in a town like Salt Lake City where it's just run, all the rules are based around some weird Bible.
Just this year we got regular percentage alcohol.
Yeah,
just this fucking year.
That's special.
Yeah. Like it's like I'm an adult, but it's like I'm still being treated like a fucking child.
Hey,
good time to start being sober, I guess.
Can I? Oh,
no, yeah, exactly. It's like now I can get real beer. It's just like, well, I gotta stop doing this.
Can I say that Uinta is one of my favorite breweries, and the beer they make, I think, is so good because they have to focus, they can't hide it behind the alcohol. So I think they had to get really good at having a low alcohol flavor and making a good tasting beer.
You can get normal before you can now get them at gas stations. I should say that you could always get normal beer at a liquor store, but we couldn't get them at gas stations. But we have award-winning fucking vodka. We have Five Wives vodka. We have Wasatch.
Five Wives. Why did they name it Five Wives?
We have that's fucking award-winning. We have Uinta. We have Wasatch. We have Squatters. We have so many different beers that are and alcohol. We have a High West in Park City. And I think it's because most like I was talking about, like some writers, you read Murakami, you read Nabokov, it's like these aren't even people who their first language was English, but it's like, how are they so fucking good at this? How are they so much? It's like that limitation that they had. It's like, I got to do good. I gotta do it. Yeah. And it's like, so they were limited with what they could do, and they just fucking nailed it.
Yeah. And they overcompensate, and then it ends up being fucking amazing. And then you end up feeling like a real schmuck.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Fuck, man,
it's like, oh shit.
But that's something that I like about Salt Lake is all that juxtaposition. I feel like creates such interesting culture. When I flew in there, and it was the first time I had went, I think we landed at 1 a.m, and I saw I don't know, 4 Mohawks at 1 o'clock in the morning at the airport, and everyone with dyed hair, and so there's this big counterculture there because of the church. And everywhere we went, man, the shows were, like I said, we saw Racist Kramer on Christmas Eve or Christmas Eve, and some of the opening acts fucking sucked so bad, and there was 300 people moshing to them, and I was just like, this is awesome. I love the energy. Nobody cares how bad the music is, not even me. It's just, this is people want to get out and have fun. Also, fucking went to a fantastic whiskey bar somewhere downtown that was really nice in Salt Lake. I don't know.
What did it look like?
What was that?
What did it look like?
Really nice. I don't know. It was the only whiskey bar I've ever been to, and I walked in, and it was just fucking extravagant with super expensive whiskeys everywhere, and it was a blast. But I don't know. I think Salt Lake's cool. I don't live there, so as an outsider, I enjoy all that's going on, and I obviously has contributed to your guys' writing. So, anyways, I don't know. I like all that.
There is that good. There is that good that it's there's so much bad that when you do find this good, it's just it's like a diamond in the rough kind of thing.
Absolutely.
It's right. You find little things. It's like, oh, I heard this place is shit. I'm like, well, I shouldn't say it's all shit. Through shit, it's a great fertilizer. Things grow.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. And when I always say, I don't know if I could live in a place like that, and it might be Bob that I've had this conversation with. He, the rebuttal is, that almost distills the punk scene into this solid lump that's just punching everything because it's a little bit more powerful because it's so clinched so tight, and the community just kind of bands together a little bit more.
Absolutely.
And I was like,
one thing I do love about it.
That might be kind of a draw, but I still couldn't live.
Honestly, I don't see myself living here, even if I have bands here or anything. I know Dead Bars, one of their guys are from Detroit, and the rest of the band's from Seattle.
Yeah.
There's a band I just saw here that actually, so I shot a show. We're pretty responsible here. We get to have some shows. Everybody was responsible and socially distant. It's in a really big venue with a really big dance floor, and because I was taking pictures, I had the whole dance floor to myself. It was excellent. But it's called SAC, and it's made up of members of Teenage Bottle Rocket and Bricheros, which both bands have band members in different places. Like Bricheros has band members here and in LA. Teenage Bottle Rocket has members in Wyoming.
Yeah.
I think there might be one in Denver. I don't think Miggy Chen lives in Wyoming anymore. So, it's not, these days it's a little bit easier. I don't think you have to be cemented to one place.
Tyler and I, with the thing that we're doing new, because of COVID, we haven't even practiced. We just sent demos to each other and then hit the studio, and we haven't practiced once together, but we were able to write a whole record together. So.
Nice.
Well, speaking of demos, our next band, this was probably my most exciting find of this episode, and one of my favorite songs that I discovered. It's hardcore again. I'm feeling a little angry this episode, so we're going to throw in some more hardcore. This is hardcore from Tokyo, which makes it that much better. And this is their demo. I don't even know what the name of the album. I don't know if it's called 2020 Demo or if it's a self-titled demo, because the cover was just crazy. It was very busy with lots of Japanese.
Hell yeah.
Which I don't read, but it's fucking amazing. The name of the band is Karate Kid, so good luck Googling and finding anything about them. And the name of the song is Follow Me. Let's play this shit. From the 2020 demo, which I guess is the name of it, I think. If I had to guess, I would say the name of the demo was 2020 Demo. The name of the band is Karate Kid. Name of the track was Follow Me. It was kind of long for a demo. Most of the time you have, 3 songs, and I think this one was like 8, 9 tracks, I think.
Whoa.
So a very impressive demo. All of the songs were just as fucking fantastic as that one. I know nothing about them because they're brand new, and anything I could find was written in Japanese, and their name is Karate Kid, so
Good find.
Google's pretty much useless. But I did a little bit of research for you. If you guys can find more information, definitely send us some of that information so I could be in the know, because I want to know more about these guys. I hope they come out with like a more polished studio album, because it sounds like they have plenty of content.
Yeah.
If they're coming out with 9 tracks on the demo.
Yeah.
So always excellent to see hardcore thriving in other countries. And Tokyo has a really cool punk scene. I wish I could go there one time and shoot a show in Japan, like a punk
Wouldn't
rock
that be
show in
incredible?
Japan. Yeah, one of these days when Americans are allowed to enter other
Yeah,
countries.
fuck. We reap what we sow, all right?
Yeah, I know. It's our fault. I'm not complaining. Whatever. All right, let's keep things moving along. This next one, I threw in a little bit of old school here. This old school resurgence that's coming out is fucking fantastic. It takes me back to my roots. And this next band is from New Haven, Connecticut, and they sound like they could be from the South Bay down there in LA. This one's The Rats. The name of the song is These Streets.
These streets don't feel like love. I just wanna go home. And I'm hungry, I'm talking up. I just wanna go home. So put me on a train or put me on a bus. I just wanna go home. These streets don't feel like love. I
That was These Streets from The Rats with a Z, Rats. Nice old school band there. 4-piece out of New Haven, Connecticut. And it sounds like they could be hanging out with Bob down there at Alex's Bar in Long Beach. So, yeah, really excited for some of these old school sounding bands. Name of that album, it was from 2019. It was EP, After the Blackout, if you want to check out the rest of that. Seems like there's a little bit more of these guys popping up lately. And The Rats is one of the better ones, in my honest opinion, which really doesn't count for anything.
It counts. We went over this earlier. Your opinion is good. You've curated some great playlists.
Come on, guy. Come on. Yeah, well, I guess on my gravestone it could say, you picked good punk rock songs, guy.
Curated some great playlists.
Okay, rounding out this final block of music from one of my... So earlier we talked about a shitty band label, Burger Records. Let's talk about good record labels, and we did that a little bit with Wiretap. We're going to do that a little bit here with Bipolar Records, as Polar Records. Damon.
I love Damon.
Yeah, Damon's a great guy down there in Seattle. I don't know if you're familiar with the label at all, but they have a ton of great bands.
Kid you not, they had the Drowns for a second, but Kid You Not, I think, is like...
yeah?
Their bread and butter right now.
Kid You Not is definitely up there. The band that we're gonna play is one of their signees from Seattle, Washington. This is Burn, Burn, Burn.
Oh,
you have to say it like that. You gotta say that because it's got the exclamation point, right? And obviously Regan knows them pretty well.
Yeah, we've done some things with the Burn Boys.
The Burn Boys. This song's from their final LP. I don't know if you heard or not, but on their Facebook page, they said that they were hanging it up. They were kind of done with this project, but they are going to be obviously still in the music scene, doing other things. I think a lot of this is COVID related, but they did make the announcement before, so I don't think that COVID helped with that decision at all.
Drew runs Tiny Dragon, the label Tiny Dragon. I believe that one of the guys, the bass players in FCon, and the guitarist, and also the other guitarist, I think, is now playing for Bobby Zor. That's all I wanted to say. Keep going.
I'm sure you could probably tell us all the bands that they're in. These guys, and they do play in a few, and I was going to bring up their Facebook post because I wanted to mention it. They did say, let me see the bands here. They wanted to say Drew plays in Street Jail, Adam plays in Bobby's, or Brett and Dylan play in FCon, and Bill plays in Mabel's Marbles.
Oh, that's
there
great.
You go. So a little bit
Nice.
of pre-research there did us good. But yeah, so definitely check out those guys if you're there in the Seattle area. They're still going to be busy, even though they're not going to be playing with Burn, Burn, Burn. So we're going to celebrate their existence because they were an awesome band, and I'm still going to be listening to them, even if they're not going to be putting out new music. From the final LP, Chosen Family, from our friend Damon over there at Bipolar Records, this is Fugue State.
What
That was our final block of music. We covered the news. We've had all of our fans sending in music, Boss Man sending in music. We've covered just about the full gamut. I don't know what else we could talk about other than what we're going to do next episode, Bob. You've been pretty good tracking down some bands and some good co-hosts like Regan here. What do you got planned next?
What's next, Bob?
Well, thank you for following through because, if it wasn't for you, then AP would just be hounding me right now about what a piece of shit I am
told
for
you,
not.
Dude, no, look. So people like bands like you more than they like me because I think bands have a built-in hatred for me because they know I'm always the one that's flashing lights in their face when they're on stage.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of rolls over and they're like, "Fuck that dude, man! No, he's already always in our face."
That brings me back to life. I'm sitting there just like, oh, I fucking, it's like I'm about to fucking pass out on stage. That flash is it's like a fucking defibrillator.
Well, good. Hopefully everybody else feels like you, but I don't get very good response when I reach out to people recording, and Bob seems to be batting 1,000, so I kind of let him take over those duties. So I haven't been giving him as much of a hard time about his contributions because he has been pulling in heavyweights like Regan.
Oh, fucking come on.
So what do you got for us next, Bob?
I don't know, man. I'm going to try to hit up the burnt tapes.
Restlessly breathing, my head's in pieces. I wonder if I can make it out of this day, this week, this month, this year. Or maybe I'll just disappear.
Some more wiretap bands.
Hell yeah.
Just because another band that I really dug last year, that's up and coming. I know they're across the pond here. And so the time difference would probably be that when it's morning for us, it's evening for them. I think right now it's probably like 3 a.m. for them, so we couldn't do an evening on our end. Maybe we can do a weekend one if they're down to do it and
get up early and have some coffee with the guys.
Yeah. So if not, I don't know.
Early morning, y'all.
We have the technology.
We do, and that makes it really nice. So if not, I don't know. I'm just going to have to start going through and seeing, who I have the balls to hit up and who I don't. I don't know. I always feel weird hitting people up, because I don't know.
I was fucking flattered. I was like, no fucking way. All right. Yeah.
Well,
hey, man. It's something to do for sure.
I'm glad you were flattered, and it excited me that you wanted to do it. And I want to interview bands that I know about and that I listen to, not bands that are like just random. Sometimes it's like we get bands and they're like, hey, do you want to do an interview? And I'm like, all right, well, I don't have one, but I don't really listen to this band. So it's nice, now we've kind of got the choice, and we've got the time to hit people up. So it's nice that you wanted to do it too, because, again, it's not like, oh, let's just hit up this random person and then we'll listen to their music and get into them. It's AP mentioned you 3 years ago, and then I started getting into you, and now, a few of my friends listen to you as well, and we actually like your band. So it's fun to listen to you because we actually do listen to you and are not just, trying to be nice, or not just like, so we got this interview lined up and I checked you out 3 days ago and it's the first I've ever listened to you. Tell me about your, I
really appreciate it. I had a blast, y'all. I had a blast.
And we hope we're a better interviewer than your wife was 3 years ago.
Ex-wife. We should say ex.
No, I
Still
think
friends,
he's referring
but thank God
to...
she does not like my band.
All right, let's put a bow on this motherfucker.
Hey, y'all.
Closing things out, coming all the way in from Sweden, we're going to close out with some melodic hardcore. A little bit easier on the ears, but still some aggressive edges here because we've had an aggressive show with some bad, terrible news. So we're going to keep that little ride going. This one's from their newest 5-track EP, No Sleep Till Arod. A-R-O-D? I don't know. It's someplace in Sweden. I looked it up. It looks to be a beach. Don't quote me on that. These guys have been around 10 years now. I've never heard of them. I don't know if you guys have, but I thought they were fucking fantastic, so we're going to play them. This is Tear Them Down with Redeem. Until next time, comrades, stay safe.
Adios.
Do we make our side?